There's so many layers, there's so many ways to read the story. Everybody starts going blind.
It's a fable basically on the importance of having eyes in a world of blind people.
It's really an analogy for our society, how we are all blind.
You can think about the story about the fragility of civilization. So when one thing goes, everything collapses.
These characters are created about how they respond in the worst possible situation.
Certain aspects of personality come out that might never in a whole lifetime have emerged.
Everything is stripped away.
You're blind. You need them, they need you. They are you. We're all the same.
Who are we and how responsible are we for one another and for what we do every day?
What would happen if we did? If that did occur, if there was a breakdown in all these social structures that we take for granted, or the simple thing that we take for granted, our sight. If none of that is with us, how do we now manufacture or reconceive the way in which we look at each other and see each other?
I keep reading the book and I keep finding, different perspectives to see this story. I'm trying to make a film that floats a bit, that can be seen from different perspectives and then quite open, I think. Biggest fear before I got involved in this project would be doing a zombie movie, Every time I'll think about this film and I'll see just people walking like this, I'd say, wow, this is gonna be a most boring film ever, It would feel like a B movie, a zombie movie, And so the first thing, that's how we started the project. First person to get involved was Chris. Chris helped me in City of God to train the actors.
My exercises were focusing on enhancing their senses. My main direction was really trying to get away from the traumatic idea of being blind. Because a lot of people who are blind are adapted, they're happy. In our movie, these people won't be happy with it. So I had to find what was the main problem then, was losing something. And that we have in all our life. That's the drama of being alive. You lose things constantly, but you pretend you don't. Nobody likes to lose.
We were supposed to do the workshops only for the extras, because that's a challenging thing in this film. They need to convince me that they're blind. But because it worked so well, we decided to offer to the actors. But it's an interesting exercise, you see. And then when we get there, we're going to play blind.
And then I give some more instruction.
Wait, I can't see through this.
Well, they're good. So they're good.
Okay, everybody, blindfolds.
You hear this?
Okay. Just follow.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. All right? Yeah. So...
Y tus trailers. Visita mi canal.
Yes, so it's hard for me.
There is front.
Hello.
I know you.
The beginning was all nervous. Everyone was really like, oh my God, me and Mark Ruffalo, we were like freaking out. How are we gonna do that?
You're thrown out in the middle of a street with 20 people that you do not know that have blindfolds on, and you're wandering around and there's cars going by, and all you hear is a bling.
Being blind means accepting humiliation early on. You realize you're going to look foolish sometimes. You're going to bump into walls. You're going to miss the urinal. You're going to be a fool sometimes.
I was really freaked out, and I couldn't move because I was afraid to hit my head or hit my, feet. And at the same time, I was really frustrated. I'm gonna take off the blindfold, and I just couldn't move,
You're following this bell, and that's the way you're being led, and we have to walk. I don't know how, it felt like 5 blocks. I don't know how long it was, and you're holding on to total strangers, and you're in their personal space, and eventually everyone starts holding on to each other and moving as a group. You would never do this. It was just by putting those blindfolds on and being put in that situation and it makes immediately trust and community.
You realize you have to trust people. It can be incredibly moving, actually, that little moment of social trust, that little gift of trust.
An epidemic of blindness has broken out, provisionally known as the white sickness. The decision to temporarily quarantine all those infected was not taken without careful consideration. Anyone attempting to leave the premises will be forcibly corrected.
This is the Guelph Correctional Center, a medium security. They had them in here for rape, for murder, it didn't matter. I would say it was closed down because of its age.
We were pretty amazed when we first saw this location because this is really, really close to both period and look to what I imagined from the book.
You'll never believe where they brought us.
I was here for 3 riots. They actually got out through some of the windows, got up on the roof.
They got out flaming mattresses.
Basically, what you see in your movie you're making where they set fires and barricaded the doors, that's what went on here.
Right in my time is where they're shooting right now, the movie.
This place is getting crowded, more and more crowded, and worse and worse and worse and worse. And we kind of dividing this in 3 or 4 phases to deal with decaying situation, right?
The wall was like this, and we've turned it into like that.
We've rusted all the radiators along here. We've aged and painted the trim. We've yellowed the ceilings.
The great thing about this location, it has quality that we're looking for throughout the movie that's reflective and transparent and semi-transparent surfaces. So this place has got a lot of it already, and we're adding that type of stuff to it. So we shoot through it and you see.
So from where we are now, which way do you want to go forward? Right or to the left?
I think it's right.
I say we're going to have to figure out what this place is at some point anyway. So why don't we just take this to its end, and then we'll know that this is definitely not a way.
I think we should just go up these stairs and check what's up there before we go back down, all the way down.
All right, everybody,
Because sometimes when I'm in the car going to auditions and stuff, and we're listening to music, I'm thinking of something. I couldn't hear the songs. I could only hear, like, my voice talking to myself inside my mind, and I could only see what was happening in my mind. So.
Your floor is completely different from where I thought it was.
Anybody on this one? Recognize the place.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Yusuke. How are you?
There's water and there's refreshment outside. And maybe there's a Kleenex outside.
Outside, you mean outside in the corridor?
No, in the corridor.
Corridor.
Toilet.
Downstairs.
Okay, we bring you. Can you find it?
Really? Yeah. You coming with me?
Yeah.
Downstairs. Just go back the way that you came.
I know, really?
Yeah.
All the way?
Almost.
Oh my god. I think I'm gonna stay here.
Near the entrance.
Maybe here?
Can you find your way back?
No way, I can't.
No?
I'll try, but...
No, I did some crazy stuff in the middle there. I got completely lost.
I think you can close your eyes, take your blindfolds, and but just don't open your eyes because it's too bright. And when you then open slowly.
I never thought that there was going to be a film about this. I knew that there were a lot of people that wanted to do it, but it became complicated. Saramago was in a lot of hype because he had just won the Nobel Prize, and obviously what Nobel Prize means for writers is that worldwide they get well known.
So I called Saramago's publisher in Brazil, who's a good friend of him, and tried to buy the rights from the book. But Saramago said no.
He'd already said right off the top, his agent said no, because he never sold film rights to any of his books before.
O que eu não queria era que isto caísse nas mãos de pessoas que, aproveitando-se do facto de que tinham os direitos sobre a obra, se permitissem fazer aquilo que lhes desse na vontade.
Finally, Ray Guta's agent said, well, if you can come one of these 2 days in the Canary Islands, which of course are convenient to no one. That was our first test. It was like a quest, it's some kind of ancient legendary quest for the rights to blindness.
We really felt like he sort of brought us to the end of the world, and just by the fact that we were there.
He was impressed by our commitment that way.
Eram duas pessoas normais, não eram potentados cinematográficos.
Finally, after a couple of days, he at one point just very casually said in Portuguese, so we didn't really get it, but we sort of did. All right, I think you can have the rights, fine. And I said, what did he say exactly? Like, can you repeat that, like exactly what he means?
Neve stuck with me through some very, very difficult periods. Like I said, it was a long, slow process writing this film.
It took a long time. It took a number of years for Jose Saramago, who is, in his 80s and has never given the rights to any of his books and just couldn't understand why it was taking so long. And he told me several times, and he told Dawn actually, he said, if I die before this film is finished, you're never gonna forgive yourself.
This book, when I read this book, I really loved it. And I decided to do the film and let me start again in a different way. Let me see what really scares me in this project. I think my biggest fear in this film that what really worries me about is having Saramago watching the film. That's the thing, He's so intimidating. I mean, he's very kind, very gentle guy. But he knows exactly what he wrote, and I know he knows what he wants to see. And sometimes I think I'm watching the dailies or watching the cut or watching the images, and I'm always imagining, will Saramago like this? Is this his story? Am I telling his story? I think when I'm thinking about an audience, I think about him, actually, I think.
On a couple, I want everyone to be aware that there are fire exits at both ends of the hallway. We should never block them. Other than that, have a nice, safe day. No, on the mirror. It's just to turn it a little bit or tweak it or something. Whose department is that?
I think there's more rules here. Crews are bigger, and it's all more regulated. And each person has to do only their own job. In Brazil, we mix more, you know, and crews are smaller. Sometimes it's faster working with less people than more people. But I'll learn a lot.
That's a tough first day.
Yes, it is.
Me too.
Yeah, you too?
But yeah, this is, fighting and the whole being blind, and it's very hard.
Just be aware that I don't respond well to that voice of authority. What I do respond to is flattery and people sucking up. So.
And one thing that I always thought could be interesting, say like a joke, like laughing. There's you do a little joke, don't you? You say, what do you say? Oh no, the other one. What I'm respond to is flattery and people sucking. This is a joke. You could laugh.
Yeah, okay.
You're so funny. Okay, let's do the last one. I've always been a big fan of Julianne Moore. I don't know what she has, but she's pure cinema, you know. It's amazing.
In a way, I mean, it's always very difficult to talk about this stuff when you're in the middle of it because you haven't really decided a lot of it. But in a way, her ability to see is the thing that ultimately isolates her and makes her kind of their leader. It's so interesting about the way Fernando's shooting this is that there is constantly a point of view. You know, in the novel, it's her voice that kind of brings you through. In the movie, Fernando, it's her eyes.
There's a moment here in the kitchen that everybody's there having their lunch, and the doctor's wife is right here and just looking, and then she looks to the table and one by one, and then she feels ashamed because she feels herself like a voyeurist. And in the film, all the audience is voyeurist because, of course, we're watching. But in the cinema, we're voyeurs. That's what cinema is, isn't it?
Maybe you could count off one by one and introduce yourselves.
I think Saramago purposely didn't give his characters names, so no one in the film has a name. It's the doctor, the doctor's wife, the accountant, the taxi driver, the maid, the woman with dark glasses. Everyone is eventually, because of their blindness, stripped of their identity.
But how do we wrap our head around introducing ourselves by our occupation?
Yeah, I know. It seems awkward trying to justify that.
Yeah.
I think I take my cue from him, and he's like, I'm a policeman. And I think that might be something that you would say, right? Because he's a cop.
Introduce yourselves, and then what is
Yeah, well, they say count yourselves off, and he says number one, policeman, and so I think I just follow suit with that. I don't know how to...
Maybe you could count off one by one and introduce yourselves.
I'm number one. I'm a police officer.
Okay. I'm number two. I'm a taxi driver.
5, financial advisor.
That's my wife. That's my wife.
あなた?
どこ俺だよ。
あなた? To work with Fernando, every time I sometimes overact. I mean, and he comes to me, Yoshino, don't do that. Maybe you just be yourself, relax and calm. Just you. Just you. He always says, just you.
Fernando is the most interested person for me, because
tráilers.
I love him, and also I really love his way to direct. So this is my type. Yeah.
In the rehearsal, you were talking like this was great.
Am I?
Yeah, you were. When we rehearsed, yeah, you remember. And of course, you're free to turn. You look to the fire. It's great because we have this camera here.
Yeah.
You see?
I can't see.
I think I should take off these contact lenses. Yes.
100% flying?
No.
Or you can skip it?
I can see you, but barely.
Sorry to see that.
Oh, come.
And it's only because I kind of remember what you were wearing. And the depth is like, I feel like I'm touching you, but
For some specific scenes, they're using some contact lenses that helps them to perform. When you have very emotional scenes, that's what we found out, that when it's very emotional, it's very hard for you to keep the movement as a blind guy and at the same time trying to reach the emotion.
It's too hard to fight my eyes sometimes because it's so second nature to us, and we so want to use them. But most importantly about the lenses is being on set for 8 hours and being virtually blind. And that's taught me an enormous amount about what it is to be blind and what that behavior is. I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out when I'm wearing lenses, when I'm not.
Yeah, this kind of eye. Yeah, sure. That was helping you. No.
I feel like you can probably tell. Wasn't he wearing lenses? No, he wasn't. Bastard! No, he did. He's not that bad.
And you're going to find mark there. And then you find mark in. I'm going to hide a B camera here.
On the windowsill?
Well, let's see what Mark needs there. It's ridiculous what I'm going to say, but I prefer quantity than quality, because through the quantity you get the quality.
We learned how to work with multi-cameras. We usually spread cameras around so the actors they don't know where the cameras are, and after a while they don't bother knowing.
You see a camera in a bucket, a mop bucket on wheels, and they're moving this thing around like, you say, okay, this is my lighting. They lit the whole place up, I don't have to hit a mark. They're not on, I'm totally free. So I'm not going to worry about the cameras for this movie.
So we have the A camera, which is a Panavision, big one. I'd say that it's my camera, which is telling the story in a more conventional way. This is a camera that sees everybody. It's very narrative, the camera that tells the story. At the same time, Cesar is shooting and he's operating the B camera, which is a camera that is telling the same thing, but always from a very weird angle, from behind the grate, from behind windows, using reflections. It's always a very crazy point of view of the same thing. And then we have the third camera, which is a Minima, a 16mm camera, which is a very light camera, like a video. And usually this is the craziest camera. And then we hang it in the ceiling or just throw it in the floor. And sometimes we shoot like 2 or 3 takes with this angle. And I say, Cesar, the camera is not working. It's framing nothing. He said, no, let's trust God. At some point, somebody will step in and it's going to be an amazing frame that we would never thought about. I'm always guaranteed with this A, but I have the crazy option, which is B, and if I want to go wild, I have C. That's how it works.
Go! Oh, and lady, I will not forget your voice.
But now tem que procurar volume, encontra isso, encontra aqui. Hello. Then attention. Yeah, I just want to add last line.
I just called to say hello.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
I just called
to say hello. It's better. Yeah, see you. It's great. Yeah, we have of course in the war, everybody terrified. It'd be great. Actually, that's
Where's
it's a great joke. I hope we can pay for it.
I just called to say I love you.
In the book, The King of War 3, it's a bad guy, and period. He is a bad guy. And here, our King of War 3, which is Gael, he's not. he's you kind of like him,
I I play the King of War 3, and because that's who he becomes in this place. The bartender is not necessarily evil. We are all very specific elements of society that all of a sudden find themselves in this situation.
The King of War 3 is a pragmatist, and he's like a politician. I always see him as he's appealing to his constituency, his ward.
My first pronouncement, I declare that everyone in Ward 3 will eat dinner before we think about getting or burying any dead.
It's about mankind, about human being. I think that's how we are. We think we're very civilized, very sophisticated, but then if you don't have food or if you're in a situation when something is missing, you really become what we're seeing here.
Hola, 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 hola. So, it's been like a week or so, and you people have nothing left to offer. So at Ward 3, we came up with a new plan. Bring us your women. Women for food.
I think he justifies it on the most primal sense. It's been, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and everyone's going a bit nuts.
You two are coming with us. Are you blonde?
It's human nature, and because it's, it maybe even grows bigger because of a need to be close to someone and to make just a connection with someone.
I think it's mostly based in fear, and I think that's what causes people to do heinous things. This, need to gang up. Please sit down. Get the fuck out of here.
Shot already one rape scene, and today we're gonna shoot another sequence. We have the whole thing happening, but I try to hide instead of showing what the actors are doing. I really, my challenge is to hide, put 3 cameras inside and not show what's happening inside, just suggest. And I think it's much more powerful this way. I learned that with City of God. I mean, in City of God, we don't have much graphic violence. You don't see blood. You don't see the trick when people shot it. we don't have nothing of that. We don't have not even blood. You don't see. But people watch the film and say, "Wow, it's a very violent film." It's violent because I didn't show any violence. It's all in the audience's head, and I think it works.
Dead fish. Move for me. Come on! Move now!
Certain aspects of personality come out that might never in a whole lifetime have emerged. So, in her case, I think she just snapped. She'd had enough, and anything was better than having to live the way they were living.
I heard something.
Someone's here. Who's that?
I heard somebody.
Who's that?
I heard
This after the shots.
No, I'd like you to shoot here.
In this shot.
Yeah, so this will be flames. Yeah. The image is just you desperate.
Yeah, kind of lost in the
Quiet. All right, here we go. Quiet, please. Okay, let's start all the flame on.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go. Roll cameras. And action. Guys, our fire marshals will be right here, so let's just have a safe word. Okay? So, how about what? Water. Water's okay. If someone screams out water, that means they need some assistance, okay?
We're gonna bring it up and down.
Firefighting is an ultra-hazardous, unavoidably dangerous activity, and it's what we do.
Smokers, let's set the flame bars. Let's go. Roll sound. Water smooth. Everyone ready? Are you up? Michelle? Yes, we're up. Ready? Go ahead. Action!
This is a level of smoke. I can see here, but I can't see there. Yeah, we had too much, so I couldn't see anything. Just
Meu apelido no... A gente se conheceu, era Cezinha Fumaça. Eu era o rei da fumaça, o diabo inventado, porque todo filme era 24 horas de fumaça.
Mas ele tá muito estourado, né? Esse é o meu argumento.
É? Bom, eu regulo isso, que é a primeira vez que eu postei no meu, não acredito por quê.
Entendeu meu ponto? Aqui, ó, aqui já tá, a parede já encontrou eles, mas ainda está estourado.
Tá.
Daqui a pouco vai ficando bom.
Mas não é legal ficar estourado um pouco para ter esse...
Aqui me parece vídeo, mas aqui me parece legal. Esse momento me parece muito bonito.
E aí, então...
Já não tá estourado, já tá mais estourado. Location? Yeah. Oh, we were driving and we stopped to take a look. It's the shape of an eye.
We were supposed to start shooting downtown, but in the way we find this place, and now we are trying to make a guerrilla-style shooting on a new location.
But it's much easier, I mean, in 15 minutes to shoot. Nice shot.
Vai câmera, ação!
It wasn't organized before. It was just a place he liked when we were passing, and we stopped and did it like a, I don't know the word, I just know in Portuguese, gincana we say, like a big game.
In the beginning, the idea is to shoot something in a very documental style, but once we're in the field, things started growing, the directors start having another ideas, and now we are here on a big avenue of São Paulo. We were closing traffic, putting trucks on the street and blocking the blocks.
People are really afraid, really afraid of them.
Sure.
Escondido isso.
Tô rodando aqui só que, né?
Não, só pra a equipe não passar em quadro.
Não, mas deixa também a equipe. A equipe também, ó.
Now you're gonna see how changes are made. We were supposed to shoot there, and we are looking for a location there.
You know, I want them to stay in the middle of the streets and have the car stopping, but they're afraid of doing this. So Tomas said that he can do it.
So I can put someone from the cast in the middle of the streets without controlling the traffic. But I can kill myself. There's no problem. They replace me in 24 hours.
Some sacrifices for films, I think it's worth being done. It's after they leave the asylum. The idea is to empty all this. We're gonna fill this place with garbage and cars, and it's quite big. The whole thing.
From here until
you know the theater, when you see the whole thing will
be under our control.
Yeah, we hope.
Great, thank you.
Well, we're here at the Valley do Anhangabaú, shooting our biggest set in the movie. We've ruined it pretty bad.
The whole action was quite funny, you know, robbing something, doing something wrong, and they had a lot of fun, so I had to cut the fun.
The dogs are nice. They don't bite me hard.
We are filming in a place near Fernando's house. We decided for this film to change a little bit the place to transform in a studio.
Isso é muito bonito mesmo. Que foco onde põe?
Mas eu só vejo a estrutura que eu quero ver quando eu estou aproximando muito mais, porque tem uma outra lente dentro do olho, entendeu? É um conjunto de lentes, cristalina é lente, tudo é lente.
Esse aqui o que? A gente vê uma luzinha aqui dentro?
Ah, vai acender tudo, isso fica muito bonito.
É? Fica muito acende. Mas aqui já é bonito pra caramba. Isso que você fez aí, César, é lindo.
Tem um movimento aqui.
Entra o rosto, ó. É lindo. É um videoclipezinho abstrato.
Eu acho. My phone number's on the sheet. We're gonna find out what this is. I'm here. You have my phone number. You can call me anytime you like.
There was also Saramago's request to create this generic city, which is a bit of Toronto, a bit of São Paulo, a bit of Montevideo, and all mixed.
Não copiei, Fernando. Repete.
Quer fazer mais uma dessa aqui ou vou mexer?
Não, faz mais uma que eu vou melhorar.
Tá bom, mas essa já dá. Eu passei frame a frame aqui, é possível. Tá ruim não.
This is the VistaVision camera because it films like that, horizontally. That means that the frame, instead of being like that, is like that. It's bigger. So you have a bigger image, you have better quality.
What's up? So you like it that way?
Yeah, no, it's perfect. It's beautiful, yeah. Maybe you were maybe spinning too much. Maybe, yeah. Almost crying. Hell!
Traffic in São Paulo, which is pretty bad. They don't sort of signal when they cross lanes. They just go for whatever lane they can get. It's terrifying, actually.
Action done.
Of all the people who should be able to go blind, that guy who wrote it, he's been thinking about it for years, should be able to go blind. He must have been practicing it in the bathroom mirror for years, and yet this is the best we can get.
We should do like this, and then this ball of white light comes. It's like
seems like I'm blocking the light.
Yeah, it's the aliens blinding you or something like that.
No, actually, I think that people will think he's the writer, so we wouldn't expect him to be that good an actor. It's more likely they'll forgive me for that. They'll say, well, that's pretty good for a writer.
The DP, Cesar Chalon, is from Uruguay, and he's the one who recommended Montevideo. There was this old district that had been abandoned and economically depressed, but we could come in here and we've managed to have the freedom to basically use almost the whole city for our shooting. So it's I don't think we could replicate this experience anyplace else in the world.
Estoy en casa con mi familia, con mi hermano, con mi hija, con todo el mundo. Es lo mejor que hay. Estoy en casa. Put subtitles in it.
You come from the outskirts of town where the hospital is, was shot in Guelph, and you go across the city through the more modern part of the city, and you go into the heart of the city, which is the old part. The advertisement comes together with the old architecture, the commerce, the business noise, right?
We are here at the Ciudad Vieja. It's very near the port, Montevideo's port. On these two streets that are our main location at Montevideo, now we have only 4 businesses running. All the others are created for the movie.
Some of them is just painting, some we've added signs. We adding awnings and bring color, which is the same idea that we use to add color and to add the chaos. 2 blocks this way and half block this way.
We have to work from today to the end, day and night. We have no choice.
A gente não estava tão... tava mais aqui.
Essa nação.
Mesmo chapado e tal. E a gente levava uma fila de pessoas aqui.
Eu achei que ele vai precisar estar tocando na parede aqui.
Mas a Lili tá mais em primeiro plano aqui.
A Lili tá aqui.
Hein?
Tá.
A Lili tá por aqui, assim. Aí eu vou com ele. E eu vou levando a Lili no canto de quadro direito e vou deixando o Umpo pra lá. A Lili fica aqui no canto e o Umpo tá indo embora. Não, mas não pode ter Umpo, de repente, encontrar um velho amigo da infância, ou sabe, um colega da farmácia.
Não,
sabe?
porque você tem que explicar.
Em vez de simplesmente ver ele indo embora, tchau, você acha que cria umas emoções, assim, acho que tem uns...
Nesse momento do filme, depois de 1h45 de projeção, tem que criar esse universo, né? Não pode entrar em outras, eu acho, tramas paralelas. É tudo do ponto de vista da Juliane, do grupo. Porque aqui nego quer saber o que vai acontecer com os nossos, eu acho.
Não com a civilização.
A civilização você está vendo pelos olhos deles.
Visual director. He'll just keep adding little touches, go back to the monitor, and without saying anything to anybody until he's happy with it, you know, between he and Cesar. And they discuss it a little bit, and he just keeps kind of placing layer upon layer. It's very much like a painter.
A gente vem no movimento longo lá no Tietê, vem no movimento longo, né, deles vindo no viaduto e revelando. E sempre essa coisa de ritmo, assim, você tem um plano longo, estabeleceu, vai tum. Aí o outro que constrói uma coisa, pum, para não ficar um grande, outro grande, vai e fica no chão da montanha.
I was trying to open I think I read the whole thing.
They just found the mustache.
I was starving, hadn't eaten 4 days, and I ended up ripping off my mustache with the candy bar wrapper. It caught my mustache in my mouth and then spit it out with the top of the candy bar wrapper. The rest is cinematic history.
Train the dog. Right? Yeah. This is Alexander.
We have Julie. How are you?
The movie is very sad. If I play with them, they get very happy. To put the head down, usually throw something like this, and it stays like that. It looks very sad.
Mark and Julie, can I just see you in your seated position? We'll get a mark.
Put it on before the take. So, see what I'm saying? Go ahead, it's okay.
Secret.
Saramago speaks about a sea of white, and I did a couple of shots against a bucket of milk just moving, and now we're capturing white smoke and mixing them both together. We're trying to create some texture on the whiteness that is going to be afterwards worked on to produce this the sea of white that we talk about.
O efeito foi pegar um monitor de laptop, colocar ele numa sala escura com uma tigela com o leite, mexia no leite e filmava o reflexo que dava do monitor no leite. Então ele criava uma textura orgânica totalmente imprevisível, né? As ondas totalmente imprevisíveis, não é nada, nenhum efeito digital, uma coisa real. Efeito, a gente tem uma média de mais ou menos uns 45 minutos de efeito no filme. Sempre tem uma cena que foi feita alguma alteração digital, seja ela colocar mais carros na cena, seja ela tirar os carros que estavam em movimento porque era um momento que não deveria ter ninguém conseguindo dirigir. Fogo em algumas situações, fundos de outras cidades, né, pra gente não ter uma referência certa da onde foi feito. Inicialmente foi filmada essa cena daqui no Uruguai, e esse fundo daqui nós trocamos por uma parte da cidade do Canadá, Toronto. Tem muito muitos efeitos que são muito sutis, assim, que você não sabe que é efeito, passa despercebido. Um exemplo é o quê? É essa cena daqui.
We need some light. No light, no image.
He has a very little lamp this size. He's got a cable that goes on Julie here. So she does the gesture like that. We open it up. That is lit, and it gives like a round light.
Existia um tratamento inicial para se tirar totalmente essa lâmpada. Nós fizemos a aplicação do fósforo. Eu teria que tomar cuidado com o ângulo do fósforo, eu teria que tomar cuidado com a própria chama. Eu não poderia deixar ela parada, né? Se ela faz esse movimento, tem uma distorção. No final de todo o processo, depois que compõe, ainda cria um leve batimento, porque não é uma luz contínua. Então sempre dá um certo batimento.
Yeah, just if you do just the move, that's enough. You just background.
People make a lot of mistakes, I think, when they talk about what a director does. They'll always talk about, isn't the director directing you? And you're like, well, yeah, but the director's job is not to direct the acting. The director's job, I think, is to direct the audience's eye through a story. He's very, very specific about how he does that. He's somebody that I trust implicitly.
So we have a very special art here with all this mass all over the floor and the shelves and the scavengers searching for food. And we are going to record some wild tracks of this scene.
Ação!
Tem uma grande quantidade de instrumentos aqui que eu criei. Para uma trilha de cinema, até crio instrumentos especialmente para aquilo. No caso do Blind, tem a estreia do último instrumento que eu fiz, né? O unicórnio. Quando eu vi o filme pela primeira vez, várias ideias musicais que eu tinha tido passaram por uma transformação assim, em função da imagem, né? Ele usou muito vidro, né? Por coincidência, um instrumento todo feito de vidro casava muito bem com aquilo. Sabe?
Van a haber 13 sprinkles en las azoteas y van a haber 2 más en el piso. En total son 15. Acá es difícil. Hay muchos equipos en el que de hecho probabilidades de que las cosas anden o no anden. Pero va a salir todo bien. Si tenemos suerte.
Helado, ¿se tocas? Cambia ese por este.
It rains a lot at the end of the book. Wow, this is really boring now.
Pra mim isso é outra textura. E bom, assim. Parece um outro lugar, não parece o mesmo lugar de novo. Não, eu quero contar minha historinha de meus atores. Essa imagem faz ele, entendeu?
Então
ele faz imagem e eu falo, não, tudo bem. Eu queria justamente dos atores, tem um outro ângulo para ter cortes. Porque tem coisas muito boas. It's working well, it's really raining. We just need to be fast because the light's going out in 1 hour and a half. So just have to move fast.
Atención, estamos
Can't fit it in because blindness book. You got it through customs, so yeah.
César.
Estou tão feliz por ter visto isto filme. Como estava por ter escrito.
É mesmo? Você não sabe que me deixa feliz também. Não sabia disso.